Okay, so this is where we got to. We have our food design ready now. It's time for us to work on the JavaScript. So I will comment the styles. So now we have our login page. So let's go to the JavaScript. Now in the JavaScript, I already created some default data that should already be in the system. So the next thing is for us to initialize some state. Now in this session, the state is relating to the database. The data we store inside the system, and we'll be using local storage. So we create a variable eb is equal to json.pass into bracket local storage dot get. So we are going to use this since the Lumina is the name of the database or default data. So the reason why we are actually using pass is because basically when a data is being stored in local storage, we want to make sure the structure is kind of in this form, so we need to pass it. Now also too, we also want a situation where if our data is being represented in a certain form or being taking a certain form, we want to also store our data. So we create a variable called database, and then create a local storage. So we are basically using this web storage APIs to do that. Then json.stringify, we have our database. Now the next step is to actually work on the authentication system, but before we do that, I want us to work on the date in the system, the main dashboard. We have, when the dashboard loads, we have something like current date. So we want to work on that first. So document.add event lister, then document.get element, So what the spa means is that we get the user credentials, then the user credentials is actually stored in the session storage area. So now let's start to work on the main login. Let's get element by ID, and get element by ID, we go to the login. So login from dot add event listener, we submit, then user experience default. Now we are facing a variable. Let me make it use short. UTB equals to document dot get element by ID, and that will be for the username. Username dot dot value, and that will be for the password, I believe. So now let's create a condition. If u is equal to admin and p is equal to password, before, sorry. If it is equal to that, then the session storage will basically store the Luna user, it has this be true. Then let's perform some animation transition here. So what we want to do here is that when the user logs in admin 1 2 3 4, when we press the sign in button, we should have a certain smooth animation transition. Yes, so let me make this animation transition, and then so have our login session. So login session equals document dot get element by ID. That will be the login session. Then login session dot style dot opacity is equal to 0. Then we have set time. Okay, so what we want to do here is that now our login will change the opacity to 0. That means that we want it to disappear. Then we include a timer API. Set timer, which is a callback function. So close.place.add hidden. Then we initialize our board. then we have our time to be 5 seconds. Hold on. This are supposed to be here. So else if that is not so we create an error to document get element by id. We log in error and error dot inner text. Got to 1. Okay, so now the next thing is we need to create a function to log out, and let me just create it. So the function to log out is if probably so if the user presses the log out button, the user should be able to be logged out of the dashboard system. So let's see, we have a confirm message here to be true. So log out of session. If log confirm that you log out of session, then that means the session storage will remove your so I basically didn't create a function for the logout. My bad. Then we have local location, right? Dot reload. So I want to show you something here. So let's go to storage. So we can see, let's clear it. So you can see basically there is nothing here in our local storage, in our session storage. Then 1 2 3 4. Now you can see that okay, I think there is a mistake somewhere. Admin 1 2 3 4. The dashboard is supposed to show okay, so basically the reason why the dashboard is not necessarily showing is because we hadn't included the targeted the HTML to of it to be displayed. But basically we see that when we log in, we go to our storage session, we can see this our key and value that checks whether the user is logged in right. Now the next is now for document to ensure that our dashboard is being displayed. So let's go to dashboard session. So if you recall, our dashboard initially had this CSS style, so now I believe this should load. Okay, and you can see the smooth transition now. So we need a function to count our total students, active courses and all that. So we need to basically get the get the length of all these ones, the count of them. So let me create a function. Let me create a function here. So refresh start, and we have render students, have render course, and we have render grade. Now what data is supposed to be actually here. Then we take each of them one by one. So let's start with this. So documents dot get element id total students dot inner text would be equal to eb dot student dot element. Okay, now this is for the counts for so now you can actually see that our total students is 3, active course is 3, and that of the grade course is 0, and it's basically taking it from our default data we gave to the system. Now let's work on the switching of menu tabs. So we'll create a function for cons switch tabs. So documents dot. Now let's go to our sidebar. and this is our sidebar. So we can see that our sidebar, the menu here has list. So I think we will use the query selector or to select sidebar in the list. Then we use the for each to kind of remove active class, because you realize that the first this one here is active, and also we already have an on-click event function here, so we just need to create a function of it here. So document dot query selector or side by L, so side by Li, then for each Li, for each Li, we have Li dot class dot remove active, then event dot, so the current target, so where we target our one, we include okay. So okay, so